Hey Inspirators, it's Inspiring Vanessa here. Welcome back to another inspiring interview for all of you. I'm super excited for today's guest. I've been quite busy this week, or I'm going to be quite busy in the upcoming weeks because I have a lot of end of term exams or assessments at my school right now, which is kind of weird because we're trying to get back to that normal kind of school environment because of everything that's been happening this year. So I've been revising a lot. I have done a lot of writing, so my hand is kind of in pain. So I'm very glad to kind of take a break from all my revision and do this interview and speak to my wonderful guest, which is the amazing Sherice Banton. You guys may recognize her from TikTok, as she is a TikToker, or you might recognize her from her viral Instagram reels, when Instagram obviously just updated the new feature of that. So you may recognize her from a lot of different social media platforms. We're going to be talking all about her journey and how she's grown. So fingers crossed I'll be able to see her on the screen when I bring her on. But make sure to leave down any questions you have in the comments box, or using the questions icon so that I can select your question and give it to Sherice to answer. So now I'm going to jump into the first question and bring Sherice onto this interview. Fingers crossed there will be no technical difficulties. There you go, I can see you.
Hallelujah! I was
Hallelujah.
so happy. I was like, no, please work.
I know, I could not see it at all. It was really weird.
Yeah, no, me neither. I could see me, and my face was like in the screen, and then I looked back, and I was like a black screen, and I was like, can everyone see me or not?
Instagram is just really weird sometimes, so I do apologise about that. But how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Christmassy, so I'm happy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I actually don't have my Christmas tree up yet. We usually do ours. Yeah, we usually do ours like December 6th.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We just do like every year, like the same date, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I don't usually do November, but this year, 1st of November, we were like, bang, let's go. We're ready.
To try and make something positive out of what's been happening this year as well.
I felt needed, and all this time here, and plus like, we don't really have a lot of like decorations, like bar Christmas decor, so yeah. It's filled the house. It's so much nicer.
It gives you a nice spirit to just kind of maintain that positive mindset, for sure. I mean, I love Christmas. It's one of my favourite holidays, so.
Same. Literally favourite.
I literally one of those people who have their Christmas tree up from like September or something.
I'm starting to like get excited in September. Not the decor, but the excitement's building then, like Halloween.
Yeah. You start humming the songs, and then when it comes to November, you actually start singing them. That's how the process works. Yeah,
Exactly.
For sure. So we're just gonna jump into the first question, which is when and why did you start social media?
Oh, good question. So I started 4 years ago. So this was back in 2016, and I saw it on a YouTube video, and this was talking about the platform Musical.ly, which was TikTok, what TikTok is now, basically.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned it there, didn't know what it was, and I was just intrigued, and I checked out the app, and I was like, oh, this is just really fun, like the vibe. And the good thing about it then was like, no one in my circle of like friends, or to be honest, anyone my age, was on the app. So I kind of felt like a freedom to just like play about, like this is my secret thing, I'm just gonna do it. And I loved it, and I love creating content, and I think just like, probably mentally, I just didn't have any like peer pressure. I was just like, yeah, let's go, let's do anything. And yeah, I just really loved it, and obviously grew to where I am today. So yeah, that's how it started.
I mean, that's so brilliant. We actually started on like the same year, because I started doing what I do in 2016 as well. I think that's with a few people as well. But I mean, what was your first impression of Musical.ly, and then when you first saw TikTok, what were like one of the biggest differences that you saw?
Yeah, that was a really interesting transition, because Musical.ly was I think the biggest change really was the content, and also with the content changed like the audience. Because when it was Musical.ly, there was a lot more, it's very music driven. Obviously TikTok still is now, but in the sense everyone's videos were predominantly like lip syncing or dancing. It was just recreating sounds. Whereas when it changed to TikTok, you got much more of a mix of everything, like people talking about topics, subjects, you know, mental health, doctors, there's cooking, like everything came out. Whereas Musically was a bit more, just
niche.
more niche.
Yeah.
There was some diversity, but not to the extent that it was when it started to become like TikTok, and that just kind of grew on itself when TikTok really started to like take off, which probably a lot of people started to see as well.
I mean, it's just like such a massive variety of like content creators on the app. It's so crazy. You can just look up anything and you'll find some sort of tutorial or fun video to watch that will keep you entertained during the time.
It's
sure. But my next question is, what has been the most exciting thing about being a content creator for you?
Most exciting thing, probably the opportunities that have come. I mean, to be fair, first of all, like building an audience, like never had an audience in my life. I think that was like pretty like, oh, okay. Like when you start having the interactions and you're talking with people in the comments and then you're talking with people on live, like, oh my gosh, like these aren't just like, it's not just a lie, these are real people. And to have that was like, that's really awesome. So that was a big one. But also the opportunities that come, like as you're getting bigger and bigger in terms of your audience, the stuff that can come out of it, you just never expect. And also you just don't realize who's watching. Like I never realized I'd have like Warner Brothers suddenly reach out to me to send me to New York. Like,
wow.
That was never on like the plan, you know? And just by putting yourself out there, you can attract these kind of opportunities. That was like really mind-blowing for me, but I knew it was possible because I'd seen other people do it, and I always had that in the back of my head, like that could be possible. Never felt real though, if that makes sense. Like it's just in the back of my head.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It's kind of like I see other people do it, so there is a possibility that I could be in that place once, but I don't think people think about it until actually it happens, and it's like, wait, this actually happens to like real life people like me. I think it's just a really big, just kind of like wow moment for a lot of people. So
you never expect it, and like as you probably feel it now, I feel like I'm a normal person. There's nothing like special. Like so when you have something like that, you're like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to congratulate you for all of your success and the opportunities you've been given and have been gifted, just because obviously you're such a genuine person, and it's not just you being funny on camera, you're actually that type of person in real life, which is so great. No, I wouldn't say you're boring. I think a very bubbly and outgoing person.
Oh, thank you. No, that's really sweet. And likewise with you. It's like really cool to meet you at because I was thinking, I didn't realise how much you had done, obviously when we first met, and then suddenly when you said you do all this, I was like, oh my god, like, that's blooming awesome. Like, I was never doing that at your age. Really brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much. My next question is, I feel like every content creator will go through this. It doesn't matter how many followers, how many viewers, how big your audience is. We all kind of go through some sort of sense of negativity online, which is very unfortunate, but that is the way kind of social media is set nowadays in the 21st century. So my question is, how do you deal with negativity online?
Yeah, that was tough for me initially, because I remember I don't know how long ago it was, over a year ago, I had like one of my first videos that took off, but the comments were overwhelmingly negative. And because that was the first time I'd had so much like negativity on one video, and it was literally just a video, me talking about where I was from, just answering questions on this quiz, and to have all this feedback like, oh god, like shut up, and I hate you, like people saying I hate you. And I was like, and it clicked with me, this is what happened. I went through that like feeling of like, I feel awful, like I don't understand, like what have I done, this is really bad, maybe I shouldn't have done or sort of responded in this way when I was doing the video. And then I got to a point where it just clicked in my head and realized, like, as soon as that like hate started, it spiraled, and people were doing it not because of me personally. Like, how can they hate someone that they've just watched for 10 seconds? It's not possible. It's not based on me personally. It's like jumping on the hype or the clout is for their own recognition, because they're seeing other people are commenting, oh, I hate this person, she's awful, blah, 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 whatever it is. And they want that same recognition of like, oh, I'll say the same. and everyone like starts liking their comments. It's not actually a personal thing. So that's when I literally, at that point, I just switched off and I was like, okay, it's not personal, it's fine. And I think there's always going to be situations like that where you can look at the kind of spiral of hate.
Yeah.
So look for whether there's feedback in there that's genuinely constructive. Because if you can take something constructive away from it, then brilliant. Like, it's good to have some like negative feedback so you can improve on yourself. But where it's just like hate for hate's sake, like it doesn't help anybody, and it's nothing against like you or whatever the creator is personally.
I mean, that's a very just observant answer that you just gave. Thank you for sharing that as well, because I think it's going to help a lot of people, not even if they just are necessarily influencers, but just if they perhaps like get bullied online. Just that same advice that you've just given can really go a long way as well. And I totally agree with you. It's like you can't really say anything about someone if you don't even know them in real life.
It's just silly, like and people get into that moment because I think whenever you're consuming content, it's emotional, right? It gets you in a certain way, and it's easy to kind of jump on it and feel that's that whole person summarized pretty much in that video. And when you put that like objectively, like put it to the side and say, can I know a person based on one 15-second video? Like never ever can. You're never going to know that person's true nature.
Not even if it's a facts video.
Yeah, not even if it's a facts video. Can't. It's just impossible. Humans are way too complicated to do that. So yeah, it's just silly, but it's the nature of internet. Like there's always going to be people that jump on and want to spread a bit of meh. I mean, it's fine.
Just a little bit of meh, but we're just going to keep radiating good vibes, and hopefully that will kind of overpower that.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
So my next question is, what has been one of your favourite memories in your journey so far? If you could pinpoint one of them.
Okay, I would say, okay, when I met, I have a few favourite moments. So I'd say up there was like the first time I met one of my followers, because I was on holiday in Benidorm and I was going up like to the water slide, and then suddenly someone behind me was like, "Are you Sherice?" And I was like, "Yeah." And oh my god, I watch your lives on TikTok all the time. And I was like, what the hell? Like the first time ever meeting someone who follows me is in Benidorm. Like, what are
That's not even a coincidence, it was just meant to be.
Yeah, I know. And then I actually met like 3 other people from that same holiday who followed me online. And I was like, what the?
Oh, wow.
It's really bizarre, like to be on holiday at the same time. Strange, but that was really, really cool. And like, he was a really lovely person. His name's Darius. We still like talk sometimes here and there. He was really sweet. So yeah, it's great to meet some people like that.
I mean, yeah, I think that's so weird, especially just being on holiday, not even in the same like where you usually live or in the UK. It's just like out of the blue, out of nowhere.
I guess it is a pretty, I don't think he's from, oh wait, I can't remember where he's from actually. I can't remember where he lives. I think it is in the UK. It's a very British like resort, isn't it? Benidorm.
I mean, yeah, that's so weird as well. Probably had to check your algorithm afterwards. Be like, okay, so where are these people actually from? It's like, because you can be meeting people from anywhere to go somewhere. But that is a great memory to be looking back on as well. I mean, like, were you scared at first? Or were you kind of like expecting it to come eventually?
I don't think I was like expecting it to come. To an extent, I thought, okay, maybe someone might recognize me one day, maybe, and they might say hi, but didn't expect it on holiday. It didn't like freak me out though. It was just like, it just kind of be back like something while I'm on holiday, you know, like I'm abroad. Someone out, like, yeah.
What are the odds?
Yeah, it's mad.
Honestly. So my next question is kind of a little bit of a controversial question, but it's just going to be sharing your perspective on things, which is, do you think social media has a positive or negative impact on young people? Why or why not?
So I think overall it's very positive. And I know it's got its struggles that come with it, and I think the biggest thing for people in terms of like the negative side is being self-aware, because even I've experienced it myself. It can be so addicting, as in you get really hurt, you just want to scroll all the time, and it's not easy to just break away when you're kind of in that motion of looking through whatever it is you're looking through online. So I know that part, and I think that requires a lot of discipline to be able to just, put the phone down when you need to. I think that's the difficulty, but the opportunities that can come through social media are huge. I think people can actually grow in confidence by just being able to interact. I think TikTok's genuinely been a really good app in that sense as well, because you can see, like, comparing platform to platform, the community on TikTok is so much stronger. Like, people are much more open to talk, much more open to interact, and people get brought out of their shell in that sense, because they can, like, they feel free to comment. It's not like, oh, let me hide in the background and, like, I mean, you might, that's fine. There's more of like a relaxed nature to it, and when people can just share their thoughts or share themselves in a natural way, if they are actually creating content on there, it's just help people to just come out the shell. And plus, when you are seeing content, it's just as in general now online, you get inspired, and you can kind of find your people or your vibe or your interest, whatever it is. So I think there's a lot to come out of it that's really good. I think overall it's a good thing. I think it's probably needed to an extent, because there's just so much more things that you can find that's your thing. It's much more harder to do that when everything's in person. Like, there's so much more you can do now when it's online.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it wasn't social media, what would we have been doing during lockdown?
Yeah, literally, we'd all be lost, and it's
honestly, we'd all just be like, so how am I going to contact my family when I'm allowed to see them, or when am I going to know the new lockdown rule, which isn't the most fun thing to hear about, but at least we have the pleasure of having our televisions to go and listen to that and see what other things are happening. So I definitely agree with you, and I feel like just because of obviously those small things that social media does have that are negative, unfortunately, people just jump straight to that and don't actually think about how many other opportunities can come from just having a platform. And it also just depends on the person itself and how they use it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it really does. And like, I think people can connect. Like, people kind of accuse social media of being like this thing to, like, oh, you're disconnected from reality, but actually connected to so many more people online. And perhaps for some people, like, when you're going through school, it's hard to find the people that are your people, and you have more of an opportunity to connect with them online. Like, sometimes that's just the way it is. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Like you say, it's how you use it. Yeah,
for sure. I think a lot of people who are like big content creators now have always like, I've opened up in the past and being like, well, actually when I was at school, I wasn't a popular person, and that I never actually had any proper friends or loyal friends. But when I started social media, that's how they found their supporters and their people who accept them for who they are. So it just really shows the beauty of social media, that we should focus on a little bit more rather than always focusing on the negative parts, because everything has negatives, yet social media is like the most prominent thing that's talked about. Like, what's negative? Social media, don't use it. It's like that's the first thing people think of.
Yeah, I think it's a shame, but I think it's brought out like so much good, and you can kind of see it. I think it's one of them places as well, when there is negative and people are leading content in sort of a negative way, it gets slapped down, not just kind of left to carry on as if it's okay. It is, people do call it out, and I think when you have more of those conversations, then ultimately it's leading to something better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So the next question is, what would you like to achieve?
Oh, lots of things.
What are your goals? Or the main ones at least?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at, I'm aiming towards becoming like, or doing presenting work, and that could be either TV or radio. That would be my ideal.
I could definitely imagine you as that type of person. You've actually got like a really radio voice.
Oh, really?
If that makes sense. It's just very distinct, I feel like. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
I don't like my own voice, because like many people do anyway. Like, you hear it, you're like, okay.
I don't think anyone really likes listening to their own voice.
Pardon?
I don't think anyone really likes listening to their own voice. When I'm editing my videos, I'm just like, I don't want to hear my voice. I just don't want to do it.
No, strange. It's really strange. I remember actually, like, it was really hard for me to come out of like the Musical.ly type videos where I was always like acting out to a sound, my voice. Because do you know what? When I first started speaking, I started like doing sketches in an American accent because that's what I was used to seeing on like TV and stuff. And plus, just
my gosh, that's so relatable. Oh my gosh.
Like your default is to do it in American. It's like, hang on, no, I don't even speak.
I'm actually British.
Yeah, but I need to remember I've got a British accent here. Like, I'm posh. So yeah, it's really funny to like adjust. But yeah, I can't remember the original question now. Start talking about American accents.
No, it's okay. It was just kind of like about your goals, which you kind of covered.
Oh yes, we talked about the radio voice. Yeah, so that's my main thing that I'm kind of gunning for. I'm also interested in acting, but I feel I need more work and brushing up. But in the more immediate, my kind of goals are heading towards radio or TV presenting, if possible.
If possible, you never know what can happen, and I think we're definitely capable of achieving that too. So my next question, or my final question, before we get into some questions from the viewers, is what can we be expecting from yourself in the future?
What can you expect? Some radio. Do you know what I'm thinking about? At the moment, we're in the planning stages of launching a podcast, so that will be fun. So it's not ready yet, but it's in planning stages. The merch to come as well, finally. It's been so long.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I don't know when yet. Again, that's currently like in the background planning what we can do. If something can come out this year, then brilliant. But if we're a bit too late because we left it at the last minute, then it's a bit too late. So there's some of that. Otherwise, just more fun. I've really enjoyed like doing some more content around hair and stuff. So if you want any hair advice, tips or whatever, people listening, then I've kind of got some experience.
Your Made Mondays are my new favourite thing to look at.
Oh really? Yay!
They are. It's just an amazing idea. Especially in your bio, you've got main yak.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
It all just made sense, like craziness, crazy hair, like it's just having fun, and then also talking about something like that, tips, like genuine tips when it comes to, because it's such a nightmare, isn't it, sometimes when you're working through like taming curly hair. It can be a stress, so if we can make that easier for people, then brilliant.
Yeah, I mean your hair is gorgeous, so that's what people are going to recognise you for as well. And if people are going to come up to you, they're probably just going to be like, oh my gosh, you're the maniac girl, right?
Maniac!
That's going to be the new thing, and people just going to be looking around like, what did they say?
Yeah, you can't just say that to people.
It'll make a little bit of confusion, but at least I'll get to meet you in the end. So now some questions from the viewers. Is one question which is from Claudia, and she said, how would you rate TikTok out of 10?
Ooh, I would give it, it's up there, like I'm gonna give it I'm teetering between 8 and 9, I feel, because it's so fun, and I'm literally one of the people that go to the toilet and sit scrolling through TikToks on the loop because I just want to pass the time and I'm enjoying them. So yeah, I really like it. I'm putting it at 8 and 9 because I don't think, could it be perfect? No, I don't think so.
Nothing's perfect at the end of the day. Everything always has flaws as well.
Oh yeah.
That's just kind of how things are created. The next question is from Poppy, and she said, where are you guys from?
So I am from Bedford in England. So we're talking
England?
Yes. Yeah, so Bedford, if you don't know where it is, it's like an hour and a half-ish away from London.
And I am based in South London. So yeah, we're quite far away from each other, but
yeah,
we are both British. That's the main thing. The next question, well, it's not really a question, it's kind of like a statement, and this is from Jasmine. She said, I just want to say you make me happy with your best vibes. Thank you so much.
Aww, that's so lovely. I don't know if that's something you can do, but that's really lovely. Either way.
Either one of us, we're still spreading a good message when we're doing this interview, which is very, very good. This other question is from Maisie.b.x, and she said, what type of hair would you rather have?
I would rather have my own. Like, I'm happy with this. I used to, like, if you follow me and have heard me talk about it before, obviously I used to straighten my hair all the time.
Oh no.
Yes. And back then I would have said straight. Now I'm like curly. I love the curls. Like, they are hard to like tame. But once you figured it out, it's okay.
It's worth it in the end.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's basically it. Like, it's worth, once you understand it though, it's not so stressful. It's that stress point of like, how do I tame it? And then you figure out, you're like, oh, okay, it's all right. It does take a bit of time, but it's so straightening. So all right.
Either way, I'd rather just embrace the naturalness rather than straightening your hair and ruining it, kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But burning it alive a little bit.
Yeah.
The next question is another question from Poppy, and she said, do you have any advice to get more followers?
Ooh, I think it's a mix of things, really. If you want to get more followers, so I actually started because obviously I came into Musical.ly knowing nobody, having nobody, like, so I've started from zero, like we've all been there. I started by interacting with other people. That was a big thing. Like, I was doing content and trying to improve on it every time, like consciously, how can I make this better? Looking at other people's content, what is it that they did like in their comedy, because it was comedy for me, that made it funnier, and I tried to emulate those kind of techniques in a way. And so keep on improving, interact with other people, because like when you're liking, commenting, interacting, people tend to want to return that. So that gives you like a starting point, and you can build a good relationship with people. If you can go live, because building, again, those relationships, so key. And I'd say like you can actually harness the songs on TikTok. Like when songs are trending or about to trend, if you can see it starting to pick up, those are good times to jump on them and make that thing your own. Don't try and do exactly the same as everybody else. Try and make your stamp on it so that you can stand out, and that will really, that has helped basically and can help you.
Just adding your own little touch to it, that makes it different, and which is going to make people just want to watch more of your videos.
100%. That is the main thing.
This question is from Sophie, and she said, what is your favorite film or your favorite films?
Disney. My favorite one is actually Tangled. I don't know if you've seen Tangled, but that is,
I love Tangled.
Yes, so good. Oh, I forgot as well, Prince of Egypt, the animated version. That's like my all-time favorite film. But yeah, I love animated films, so yeah.
And a little bonus question from myself, what's your favorite Christmas film?
Oh, do you know what? We've been watching a load of Christmases I had before recently.
They're already playing on television.
Are they? I don't even know.
Like straight away on all the channels.
Oh, so good. What would the favourite Christmas one be? I'd say at the moment, the Polar Express, because that was so adorable. And it makes me feel really happy. So Polar Express is up there.
Get all those serotonin levels going.
So good.
And the final question is, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I'm guessing it's anwanmedi.xx. And they said, what's the longest amount of times you've taken doing a TikTok?
Honestly, they can take so long. It's just 15 seconds.
There's so much effort that goes behind it.
Oh, honestly, yeah, so much. The longest I've taken, I've got in my head it's around 6 hours. I swear. It was
6 hours?
I needed no joke. It just takes so long sometimes. Sometimes you've got awkward things to do. Especially if sometimes, say if it's hair, for example, when I had to do different hairstyles, and you got to do every different hairstyle for one.
That's understandable.
But, sometimes actually filming it, I want to get the right take. We're doing this again. But yeah, I've got that in my head. So yeah, about that long.
That's a very large creative process, but thank you for sharing that as well. That's crazy.
Yeah, someone just said TikTok is a workout. Agreed.
Especially, I mean, at least it wasn't you trying to learn a TikTok dance for 6 hours.
Oh gosh, no, just an hour.
Just an hour. Just just 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually filming all the takes, that does make sense. But that is a very, very long time to be doing it, but it is very much worth it in the end. And that's why your content is so great, because you put so much effort and just creativity behind it, which is what I love about your videos as well. So that was the last question. Thank you all for sending in your questions. Sherice, where can we find you on social media if people don't follow you already?
So obviously Instagram. I'm here, and the easy thing about me is my name on all social is the same. So basically Sherice Banton on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Joe, I'm gonna start using Snapchat again properly. I keep like jumping in like at some point, but I feel like that. So Snapchat, I think that's the main ones. Yeah.
I think that's the main ones. So make sure that everyone, guys, make sure to go and follow Sherice on our social media platforms if you don't follow her already. Sherice, thank you so much for being my guest today. It was so lovely speaking to you. I hope you have a very good end of November, and having a bit more fun listening to all that Christmas music and getting ready and to be in that Christmas spirit as well. Thank you for being my guest today. It was amazing speaking to you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. It's really good to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So now this is the end of this interview. Thank you also so much for tuning in today. Make sure, as I said before, to go and follow Sherice on her TikTok, her Instagram, and perhaps Snapchat if she'll be starting that again. And also YouTube, I believe, is what she said too. I hope you guys did enjoy this interview. And also make sure to go and check out all the other interviews that I've done with a lot of other amazing people. There have been a variety of different people that I've interviewed, a lot of other TikTokers as well, which are available to watch on my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure to subscribe. If you're watching this on Instagram, make sure to go and follow me. It is at inspiringvanessa, as you can see somewhere up here. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, then make sure to check out our other episodes with more amazing people. Thank you all so much for tuning in today, listening, watching.